as at now. Taking self-care hapa na pale.
Yeah.
Actually having a conversation to chill. Mental health. It's just taking care of your mental health in general.
Yeah, mine is okay. Fiti sana. Kuna a couple of things to tuongele. One of them being about how the youth wanakapitia na mental health. So mostly unapata tuna exist in a society yenye inakuanga imelenga hii story. Not many people are willing to talk about it. Na not many people are even informed about it. Bado tuko na our own ideas and mentalities about mental health. Yeah, so mostly kwa the youth and how even technology affects venye ime affect. Because nakumbuka technology imekam ikasaidia mostly na social media and how people interact and everything. But pia kuna the other factor where imefanya people are now more depressed than ever. We are living in a generation of people who are more depressed than ever. People have anxiety. Nairobi being one of the highest, Nairobi being one of the highest cities with the highest mental health. But tunapata the factor ya wase kuaddress iko different from the real issue. So the issue exists, but haiko addressed as it should be. That's as true. A mental health advocate, unachekije your story?
I think social media, in every other thing, even in life, kuna the yin and the yang, the good and the bad.
Yeah, of course, kuna the advantages and the disadvantages of just anything.
I feel social media imefanya ikwe easier to access such cares, mental health care, and actually getting consultation, especially from psychologists everywhere. Ukiangalia sasa ukiingia pale gram type 2 hata #therapist.
#therapist. You'll find someone who's either doing videos or who's advertising themselves, who's giving tips on psychology and mental health.
That's true. And make the access so easier that it is easier for you to access help. And it is also easy for you to be anonymous, by the way. You access the mental health care because kuna stigma around mental health care,
there's a stigma about it.
Mtu anasema but then mimi niko therapy, mtu anakaa ulichizi kitambo bana, but that's not the case. I think the whole idea around it is just gotten so wrong. But I think social media imekuja ku ease things, automate things, na pia unaweza remain anonymous. No.
Oh, okay. When you're having that client.
Yeah, that client therapist, and kuna wale watakagi kujulikana, like, oh, it's me seeking this care.
Hey, as a therapist, ushaikuwa na incident kama hiyo? Someone wants to remain anonymous.
Yeah, nimekuwa nao kadhaa. And honestly speaking, I admire wale watu. Heri ukuje useme by the way, mimi siko sawa, lakini sitaki ku reveal identity ya.
Or than just hiding behind.
Yeah, you can just hide behind, but you didn't hide from seeking help. It's easier for you, or it's easier for me to actually listen to your story because time iko available, access iko available. Can I be able to help you? Yes, I can be able to help you. Unaona? So heri wale watu, welcome. It doesn't matter if you want to be anonymous, you want to be known, it doesn't matter. As long as you get the access to it and get help, because hey man, I need to talk to someone. I mean, pure umeona signs that you need to talk to someone.
Yeah, inasaidianga sana. So about social media, yes, imesaidia sana, but naweza argue different because kuna pia part where social media has actually been the cause of mental health issues. They're mostly kama kuna story flani ya this Michigan teen.
Okay.
So this teen alikuwa catfished by the Nigerians. So the Nigerians were famous on this scamming business. I mean, they ran the entire scamming. Yeah, so kulikuwa na mtu Niger flani, they used to identify mtu. They wanatafuta wase unajuana nao, shule unaenda, some information about you. Then they pretend to be a woman, of course. Mnaongea na yeye for quite some time. Then after some time, of course, once you get a little bit intimate on the conversation, they ask for a nude picture.
All right.
Then they use it. After you send it to them, they use it against you to get money from you. Okay. So ilifanyika for this Michigan teen. haikufanyika kitambo sana. Actually last month ndo kulikuwa na hiyo court ruling ya that Michigan team. Na hawa sio wakapatikana guilty, but of course they both denied the charges. So kwa hizo text messages, because the FBI wali get hand of hizo text messages. I think walikuwa wanatumia, I don't know which platform they were using, but probably they got busted and everything was just there.
Oh, okay.
And nothing was deleted or something. So they got text messages who will say akiwa beg, like, I only have this amount of money. Like, no, we need more from you. Then the other text, mafala bado namwambia, we will make you kill yourself.
Hey.
You know what that kid did? He actually killed himself.
Oh my days.
So that's after a period of going through depression. Then of course, these guys are threatening him to leak the videos and the pictures of him. So waka end up amejiua. But of course, justice was served because hao wase walikujiwa Nigeria, and sasa hiyo wakakuwa inaitwangaje?
Extradited.
Yeah, they were extradited to the US and wakafanywa huko kesi yao. So hiyo inakuonyesha venye social media in as much as imekam ku bridge that gap, but also imekam kuwa as a reason why people have a mental health.
Your story, the teen man, it's heartbreaking, Mazi, because you would drive someone knowingly as a human to that point that they see dying by suicide is something of a last resort. I mean, it takes, you know, someone just fucks up with you and knowingly anajua, this is my end goal with you, you know. But yeah, social media, it also comes in that form. Also pia kuna hizi comparisons. Ukiangalia pale gram, there are people who wanna make it as young as actually 20.
Oh,
years.
yeah.
Unaona? Mtu anakuambia, "Hey man, mimi nishaomoka and unaona they're living this posh life." Hapo comparison. Unaelewa ni nini watu wanafanya this fun.
Yeah, so kuna hiyo issue ya comparison na kuna another issue. So nilikuwa na watch Social Media Dilemma, so it's an entire documentary explaining social media and how these platforms are made. So on your Social Media Dilemma kuna a part where they mention so kitambo sisi kama human beings we were used to care about what the small society of like 500 people thought of us.
Oh, okay.
Now we have to care about what 1 million people think about us, people who come from different cultures, different backgrounds. We have to care what all these people think about us. So it's extreme for someone to be there posting something and you have to make sure you're not hurting anyone. So it's a very interesting time in tunaishi na bado it's very, very, very dangerous because our mind are equal built to think about venye like 1 million people think about us.
That's true.
So it's hard for you to be a personality because kitambo ingekuwa you're living in like a small community. You know, as long as you do what the elders say, you're right with the society. You're just there to do what they say. At least ilikuwa easier. So you need to care about how you speak, how you say certain words, how you sound, how you dress. So kuna a lot of things kwa hiyo entire in social media imeleta that's causing the mental health. Mostly your part ya comparison.
Deadly sana.
Mostly your part ya comparison.
Kitambo tu na wanasema, wewe tafuta tu, mpa wako pale.
Yeah, just look for.
Alafu sasa wewe uende upate ng'ombe 2-3 pale. Alafu mwanze familia nini and you are good with the society.
Yeah, equal a lot of pressure as like now.
Exactly. Comparison tu ingefanyika ni ule akona ng'ombe 100, mimi niko na 80 bana. Nafaa kufanya bidii kidogo nipate zingine, unaona? But sahi unajua social media is a social.
Hey, now you have to worry what everyone is saying.
Exactly.
The people you went to high school with, the people you went to college with, even our primo, your work colleagues.
That's true.
Another 1 million people who you don't even know. You have to care what they think about every single thing. That was so hard. So at the end of the day, what this is causing, people end up, of course you can't meet those expectations because it's set too high. So now end up feeling less of yourself, so ina drive to that path of mental health. Yeah.
Na hapo ndio sasa problems was zinaanza.
Yeah.
Thinking less of yourself, thinking that hauna zile, you know, you don't have the same strength as other people do.
Yeah.
But you know, people don't realize that we are unique in our own times, you know. We are unique in our own ways, such that hatuwezi jua, we are not the same. Unaona? Wewe unaweza make it by maybe mtu nilikuwa naye high school ame make it by around 24 years, asha make it, asha nunua kani yake, akona about yake hapo. Mimi maybe I'll still break it through at 30, bro.
Yeah.
Unaona?
But you know it was easier back then, but science.
You hauna information.
It's another equation.
Kitambo hauna information.
Yeah, you don't have the information that a kid in Europe has a Bugatti at the age of 21 or even 18. So it's quite different. Yeah.
But it's different, you know.
Yeah.
And I think we should really appreciate the fact that we have to live with this.
Yeah.
And I don't know, try to position yourself better to use social media for the greater use. But then again, you should be worried because in every market there's a madman.
Yeah, of course, ni wengi sana.
In every market kuna
mostly for Kenya it's Twitter. Me I call Twitter as a harsh social media platform. Because you might be doing the right thing. Kama nilikuwa naona majuzi, sijui kama unajua this business stroke influencer sort of wanaitanga Cairo.
Cairo.
Yeah, he owns that company. So of late amekuwa ameingiliwa na wase. And what he does is he just posts vitu za business yake, what his day is about, but of course he's successful. So siku yake itakuwa kama ya the normal human being.
Exactly, man.
But sasa as a result of that, people wanna bring hate, people wanna bring all that. Mostly for Twitter. Twitter is brutal as hell.
Twitter can be brutal, yes.
Yeah.
And it inahitaji tu a certain level of mental strength. Like, uko tu na strength, yeah. What are you focusing on mostly? Do you let what other people say about you really get into you?
Yeah.
Because you can like the same example, the guy in Cairo guy, you know, he just lives his life, man. After kuonyesha, you know, oh, this is my kid. This is my kid. Oh, but then leo nilikuwa Dubai. Yeah, alikuwa Dubai because that's him. Alikuwa na ka process before that. Yeah, alipitia ka process before that. And
ndo afika hapo.
Ndo afika mahali yako. But then why don't you want him to be himself at that time?
Nena kuonyesha venye kuna a big problem because unapata kuna wasee they wanafikiria sana what people think in social media.
That's true.
You remember that's just an internet person who you don't even know.
Hujapatana naye.
Who doesn't even know you, but what you feel so much. I think what one of our shift from that, what your social media is not a real place. It as much as we want to make it a society or a community, it's not a real place. You'll find guys there who are just haters. Find guys there when you're there to turn you down. And if you want to keep your mental health in check, kindly avoid listening to a stranger on the internet.
That's true.
Or even taking their opinion seriously.
Actually, not a stranger peke yake, to be honest. Even your friends.
Yeah, even your friends at some point.
Even your friends, man. I feel like
F this.
Yeah. Your friends are really hard to let go, especially pale kwa social media. Mbona wako like picha yangu? Like, what's wrong with
that? Funny thing kumekuwa na hizo issues are like you need to lie, you need to
it's too much, man. It's too
much. Which is BS if you ask me.
Yeye nipigie man, tutaongea.
Tukiongelea juu story kuna this other part where I wanted us to do ilikuwa ya kuhusu mental health and gender. Because unapatanga mostly Kenya, in as much as the mental health topic inaanza kubreak in, bado kuna that difference and gap mostly when it comes to gender. So unapatanga the females are more advanced kwa your sector than us men. So it's easier for a female to admit they are going through depression or than a male. Of course, because of the society we live in and all. So itakuwa hard for a male to admit that they're going through that, but itakuwa easier for a female. So you as a dude, shake on such a scenario.
Well, mostly, I won't lie. women are more open. Like, if they need help, they need help, you know. Like a dude, you know, ayo, my guy, kwaje, man, the guy will be in the pits. The guy will be in the gutter, but akwambiaje, niko fiti bro. I've never had a better day, man, you know. And it's really hard to get to them. It's really hard to be or to actually take part in their lives. Utapata mkona, you know, just chilling with the boys, yeah. Nyinyi mnajua kila kitu kwa sawa. Enda labda ni gaming mnafanya, labda ni you know, maybe drinks hapa na pale, lakini ile ku open up anaweza pea hints, but hata ku open up because a man is tough, you know.
I think it's a dude's thing to not open up. What's a funny thing about dudes, sisi ni the gender yenye mnaweza kutana mahali na a dude, you hang out, you don't even know the name, taki kujua, you just hang out with them and you guys will be okay. But sasa when that thing inatu affecting you when it comes to mental health, because the first thing was to open up, to speak to someone at least, umweleze what you're going through. But of course, some of us, it's hard, inakuanga ngumu sana ku come out, speak, because of course pia tunaishi kwa society yenye that will be termed as weak.
That's true, man. And it be your own boys wanakuita weak by the way. Ni maboys wako ndo wanakuambia bro, hapa ndo ni weak. Wewe hapa haifai kwa hivyo, haifai kufanya hivi, haifai kufanya vile, haufai kufeel na kitu na feel, unaona. Alafu inaanza ufanye create escape ways. Escape ways can be like unhealthy coping mechanisms kama binge drinking.
Okay.
Unaona, una binge drink ama una isolate too, because no one really gets what you're going through, man. Una choose to open up, but no one really gets what you're going through. You isolate yourself because you feel you get yourself better than other people, but then that's disruptive.
When you share some podcasts, so this guy, dude is always funny. It's so funny. I know there are sets of friends, but it's ideally what you're talking about. So this dude always, whenever anaanza kupiga stories zake, people just start laughing kwa your podcast. Like when I was a kid, my parents did this and then they start laughing as hell. They were funny sana. But you know, nisha venye sisi dudes kwa so chukulia history so lightly. Yeah, but of course maybe kumanza kuwa na slight change ama unaonaje?
Kwanza kuna slight change. Unasema when I was a kid, that is him opening up. And ndo open up and I feel safe. We actually sometimes need people to listen to us, and sometimes what that is sympathy. Raga tu man to check his story.
Yeah. And funny thing about nilikuwa nacheki this post ilikuwa nasema men hawatakangi kuwa treated as women when they open up. So for women anataka ki open up apatie that sort of whatever, but a man anataka ki open up anataka kuonyesha bado you're still in control, you're still strong.
Exactly.
Yeah, ataki apewe sasa that sympathy anze kuonekana weak or something.
Well, what I might say next might shock you, but
okay, shock me.
Well, it comes down to the girl child kupatiwa a lot of empowerment, such that the guy amekuwa left out. Let me just tell you more on that. The recent task force report on mental health was deployed back in 2020. While it classified the boy child as part of a special population.
Why?
We are a special population, man. Because the girl child amekuwa so empowered. The boy child amekuwa left out. Now in this, the girl child amekuwa so empowered. Imekuwa to such a point that everything that we do, even in practice, has to be reflective of the woman.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no hate against women.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, you know, a guy wants to be shown you're in control and you know you're tough and stuff. But to some extent, the techniques and maybe how we speak, you know, might just turn off the guys like, man, bobo like, hey man, make uncomfortable.
Mostly for dudes wanatakanga kuonyesha that you are in control. Watakangi kuwa made to feel like they are victims of a certain thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And why do you think therapy is being mostly associated with women? Like, I told the therapy, you're doing story. It
But most of your clients are females or males?
Most of my clients are females.
Damn, that shows you about a long way to go.
There's a long way, but according to the shifting inafanyika sahi, things are getting better. People are actually speaking up. And there are a lot more, a lot of advocates, just like me, who are telling people to destigmatize these things among males, man. See, lazima like tukae, like in a therapy session, therapies can take a lot of forms.
Yeah, they can take a lot of forms. In those circles, but those circles are existing in Kenya.
You mean like group therapies and stuff?
Yeah, those group therapy and hi, my name is Savior.
Hi, Savior. Eziko actually, and no one has access. Like if you get in touch with me, I can actually, tell them, oh, by there there's this group, and of course the anonymity part pia iko juu. Most of these stuff they go online. Unaona, so kama ni group unaingia tu pale Google Meet yako, si lazima you have your camera on. Unaona, and ukisikia pia watu wengine wana go through the same thing as you go through, inakupatia moyo.
The first thing is to accept it, to kukubali as a thing, and it's okay to speak out. It's okay to seek help.
It is okay, man.
We'll actually be taking a step in the right direction.
True, that's true.
Yeah. But then we about how men actually and how the society affect how men behave.
That's true.
Man, how does the society, like growing up as a kid, like personally for me, growing up as a kid, kuna hizi my expectations zilikuwa na set. Like as a man, you don't have to, like like crying was a taboo as a man. Like remember kuna times, because me nilikuwa like a super cry baby. So as a kid, nilikuwa nikilia, used to get whooped. So that when you pay reason because in our culture, being a man, how far you show any sign of weakness. Weakness if you are now admitting that you have maybe a mental health issue, or even crying because your day is like really messed up. And people do associate that with femininity. Of course, the fact that I grew up in that culture, in a way, maybe part of those people who associate it with femininity, because like something as a kid that old habits die hard, of course. Yeah.
True, that's true. It comes down to the upbringing. You used to get whooped.
Yeah, of course.
Unalia nini kuja nikupatiliza unakulia nyonyo zako hapo. And ni venye tumekuwa raised in such environments, and we really can't blame our parents per se, because that was the way they knew. The mental health agenda was not agending at that time.
Hey, I'm curious to understand how those guys dealt with these issues. Because there was lack of knowledge on these issues. So I'm too curious how they used to handle it.
How they used to handle it and compare with men. In as much as they should pent up your emotions, lazima zita manifest in different ways. Zita manifest physically, or maybe you just get sick. Lazima kutakuwa na physical manifestations.
Someone will tell that this guy is going through.
But then, now, why do you hear there are cases of domestic violence? That is because there is this trauma or unresolved trauma that say and I get angry at. Once I got triggered, I get angry. That's the only way they know how to get this out of their system.
Okay.
It's just the same way how people nasikia mtu bebe mi manzangu ameniacha bebe. Come to piga gym bro. That's a coping mechanism.
Okay.
Unaona?
But is a coping mechanism a way of solving it?
Well, kuna two types of coping mechanisms. Okay. Kuna unhealthy na healthy. Yes, kama ni kwenda gym, hiyo inatoa stress and stuff kayo. But then up to a certain limit, kuna vile unaweza kuwa una go too hard on it. But then the unhealthy ones, excessive sexual behaviors, like intimate behaviors with different partners, that's a physical manifestation.
Of you going through something.
Going through something, or something just left you and you look for something to fill your void.
To numb the pain, of course.
Yeah, to numb the pain because you get excited.
Okay. Yeah.
No. That's why people actually drink, because it gives them a certain excitement.
yenye ana miss out as
Exactly.
a human being.
Exactly, because there's something that left that brought that excitement to them, that it's no longer there. So they have to fill that void as quickly as possible. So no matter what, coping mechanisms can be two ways.
There's healthy one and there's unhealthy one.
Kuna healthy and unhealthy. Hiyo ni self-sabotage sasa.
Because ikanikumbusha time fulani, kuna time fulani Andrew Tate was doing this interview with Piers Morgan. So for him, he doesn't believe depression exists.
Okay.
So mostly pia deal na fans wake, wacha tuite fans because si client, ni fans wake who email him. So alikuwa napea an example of someone who emailed him like, I'm sort of heartbroken, or I don't remember the story, but he was depressed. Then akamwambia go get, alikuwa na feel suicidal of course after feeling depressed. Akamwambia go get a six pack. After getting a six pack, if you feel like killing yourself, come to me. So the dude went ahead and got a six pack. Then after that, I can feel more better. So according to him, depression I exist, but you have to mention a healthy coping mechanism. Now it makes sense. The fact that he went to the gym and did something good for himself, it actually resulted into something, a better result.
That's true. When you work out, physical fitness, it gives you, of course, physical wellness and stuff. Samaga mental health general or being in health according to WHO is not absence of illness. Social wellness, of course, physical wellness, actually mental wellness. And ukiangalia him working out, it provides an opportunity for him to think about stuff. It does not heal per se. It does not heal. It gives you an ample space or a good environment to actually think about stuff and actually to go about things.
Which begs the question: how then does someone heals from these mental health issues?
It depends. There are a lot of mental health illnesses, varying from clinical cases to psychosocial cases.
What's the difference?
Clinical cases, now we can start discussing about things to do with schizophrenia, where you have to see, a psychiatrist. It involves drugs administration here and there, even chronic drinking, alcohol. Where it requires intervention of drugs, that's a clinical case. And there's nothing that can be done until a clinical case has been dealt with. Then we come back to the psychosocial issues. The psychosocial issues are like, unresolved trauma from a childhood. Breakups, man. Do you know even friendship breakups can be very devastating, man? So it varies a lot.
So it actually depends on the specific issue. So kuna issue yenye inaweza kuwa haiwezi kuwa healed.
What I say with therapy is usually a journey. It's not a one stop.
It's not a one.
It's not a destination. It is a journey. With mental wellness, we say that it is the active pursuit of wellness. Like there's no time you're actually stopping. It's just like how we are growing right now. Every single day we are doing something to better ourselves. We are either learning something new, we are doing something new, or we are teaching something new to someone else. It is usually that cycle. Now with wellness, it is usually the journey. Why do you think someone does not stop going to the gym?
Because it's a whole journey. You can't just do a whole year of doing gym, then you're like, I'm okay for the rest of my life.
You can't get the 6 packs and then you say, peace.
Peace out.
Well, you'll go get zitapotea, I think so. Who was zitapotea?
Zitapotea. Kwanza, mostly guys who do gym, wakiacha gym wanakuwa more worse than they were. I'm not sure about the facts, but in most cases wanakuwa much more worse than they actually were in terms of fitness.
Just like fitness, it's an active pursuit.
Always
continue to reinventing yourself in new ways, because at no point you're going to remain stagnant X, to be honest. You are always in pursuit of something.
Always in pursuit. That's like the cycle of life. You're either trying something new, learning something new.
Exactly.
Ever doing something new. Plus pia kuna hiyo factor yenye tuna change from young to old to, you know, you're changing steps from being a teenager to this other in your 20s, then you're going to your 30s. Nalikuwa nikuulize, so these different age gaps, which are the most affected by mental health?
Mental health doesn't have an age limit where it starts or where it stops. The research by the Mental Health Task Force inasema that 50% of the most mental illnesses start showing by the age of 14. 50%. So it's easier to point them out at that time. No. So as low as you hear a child died by suicide, a 10-year-old child died by suicide.
I've heard of those things.
You know, and maybe up to a 70-year-old dying by suicide, and it's issues, the psychosocial issues around the environment. So I feel like when we grow, of course, we will meet a lot of challenges as we grow, especially as teenagers, because remember, we are transitioning from one point to another. We are transitioning from one friendship to another, one location to another. And each stage has its challenges.
Or the funny thing about each stage having its challenge, because I remember as a kid, like when adults look at you, like you don't have any stress, but I agree that being a kid, the few things that you have, maybe school, friendships, hizo ndo zinakuanga like your stress. For you, that's your entire world. But for them, it's a whole extension. So of course, other than as a kid, it's you're not going through anything. It's only adults who go through the issue, but it's everyone.
Kwanza ukwe pale primary unasikia mwalimu wa maths amesema kwa kila swali umeanguka ni kiboko.
The famous mwalimu wa maths.
Oh my days, oh my. Mimi nilikuwa na social studies. Unajua number 1 to 7 ilikuwa map work. Unakumbuka?
I remember.
Number 1 to 7 social studies alikuwa anasema kitu moja. Ufai kuanguka map work because the answers are on the map.
I remember that. Kwanza umesema hivyo nikakumbuka. No one was allowed to fail that.
Hakuna mtu anafaa
kuanguka. No one was allowed to fail that.
Nakwambia ulikuwa na swali moja anasema ni viboko 3.
Even I remember ilikuwa number 1 kwa maths cause the first one was usually back in primary converting either figures into words. It's something easy, but kuna watu walikuwa na fail of which ilikuwa big deal.
Ilikuwa mtu ameko pale mbele amewekwa zake bwana anasema wow, thank God sikuanguka hiyo swali.
And sometimes inakuwa just something simple will mess up a little bit.
Man, kwanza zile za tens, hundreds, thousands.
And it goes on to affect you even as an adult because umekuwa raised to be a perfect human being, to do things perfectly. Because nakumbuka ilikuwa if you fail you get punished. So this is what they're doing. They're training you to fear failure. But the thing about life, you'll always fail multiple times.
That's
multiple times. So they're teaching you to be afraid of fear. What it does to a human being is msi anajaribu kitu ana fail, or rather anaogopa kujaribu because anajua ata fail. Because of that trauma of being taught how to fear failure.
I think we should embrace the failure. Always, almost always, we embrace the failure because when I take a toll on your confidence actually. Like, man, sasa nikijaribu kufanya something new and it fails, then I'd rather not start, you know.
Because inafanya you fear failure, and in the real world artists, failure is bound to happen. Not everything you do will always go through. You know, life is that way.
That's true. That's true.
So what they're training us to be is to think in sort of possibilities. So we think we'll always sort of win, and we fear doing things that we feel like we want to win at. And in most cases, unapatana the things you think you'll fail at, though the things where you prosper the most. And even the things you thought you're good at. So in a good train to think in a possibility kind of way. And when the world unafaa think in a probability way, that there's a probability that this won't work, but it's okay. I'll do this.
Try something else.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like we are conditions that such that you're pointed in one direction,
Yeah.
is not always. It's like looking at it like black and white. That's a polarized. That's what we call it, a polarized way of thinking.
Yeah.
It's either this or that.
Yeah, inakuwa sort of conditional.
Now, come on, you've been taught how to you are made to pass. Yes, we are of course made to succeed, but in different ways.
Yeah, in different ways.
Actually, and that's why I do support if the new competency-based curriculum CBC will sort that out, the better, because nilikula viboko.
No, I hope it works. So, kuna venye time iko on our side. So, what's the summary on the whole entire thing about mental health?
Well, mental health doesn't start as in one place. Yeah. We are programmed to think in a certain way, you know. But the rise of the generation Nakuja, it's coming to challenge these notions that we were instilled in by our parents. That's why you hear Gen Zs in the workplace right now are causing havoc. Honestly, I don't think they're causing havoc. It's just that they are challenging the existing systems, such that the people who establish the systems feel really offended that the systems they set in place are being challenged. That's it. And through the dismantling this rigid way of thinking, I think that's where we will get a lot of exposure on things to do with mental health and putting oneself first.
Yeah, plus better help to shape things.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, that's my take on the whole mental health agenda, and let's tend to actually push it more.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you on the show, man.
Man, shukran sana.